the night sky above a nation's capital, down flashes a shooting megastar on a mission of mercy. Zeroing in on her rooftop helipad, bearing priceless gifts of caring and sharing, she touches down to touch the hearts of her celebrity guests who tremble in anticipation in her luxury penthouse below. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Dame Edna Experience with Dame Edna Everage.
Well, more accidents happen in the home than anywhere else, and I nearly fell backwards into my own beautiful orchestra then. But otherwise, I'm in a safe house. My penthouse is in every sense a safe house, but it's under siege at the moment because downstairs in my lobby it's like Piccadilly Circus possums. Every celebrity you could name, and a few you couldn't put a name to, are clamouring to get in, are desperately trying to penetrate my lower vestibule. They are. They're wanting to tell me all about their dull little lives. And when I say no, they throw tantrums. They do. I'm sorry, but they do. And men in white carry them away and put them on the Wogan show. They do. Which is really the next best thing to an intravenous pentothal, isn't it? I mean that nicely, Terry. I do, darling. Talking of depressants, there is a woman of substances over there, my old friend and bridesmaid, Madge Allsop. Don't encourage her, my old dog's body, and believe you me, she has got a dog's body. But she sucks everything in and gives nothing. She's a black hole of Rotorua, Madge. But she's been buzzing people up. She's in my bad books. She just lets everybody in, and the result is that I've overbooked. I have here my two ensuite guest suites, a chock-a-block tonight with Glenys, Kinnock and Jason Donovan! Yes, but thanks to Madge Allsop overbooking, my first guest is 5 people, possums. Yes, but fortunately they're a bunch of Britain's top talents. Ladies and gentlemen, in alphabetical order, Antony, Sher! Gambon! McDowell! Pigott-Smith and Suchet! You sit down, boys. Oh, look at you. God. Grazies, you darlings. Madge, some lovely flowers, darling. Look after those for me, possum. You shouldn't have, Tim. Oh, David, how lovely. But you're naughty boys, trying to bribe your way into my good books.
Aren't you going to open them, Dame Edna?
Open them? Yeah. Oh, now,
please.
Is this from you, is it?
Please, yes.
I have known, Antony.
Mine.
Sure. Where does it go? What is this? Oh, yuck! This is uncalled for, Antony. Who is this strumpet, half nude, sitting on a bed?
That's you, Dame Edna.
Thank you, Antony. I don't remember you doing this.
Yes, when
I'm not going to show it, by the way, to our viewers. I'm not. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's just for you.
You promised you wouldn't exhibit this.
Well, it is on exhibition at the moment.
Where?
At the National Theatre.
Oh, you're giving your exhibition a plug now, are you? It's not in a book, I hope, though.
Yes, it is in a book, yes.
What's the book called?
It's called Characters, Dame Edna.
Who's it by?
It's by me,
Oh, thanks. We'll hear the price and the publisher in a minute, Possum. Well, you've broken every rule in the book, Anthony. I'm sorry people do not promote their work on my show. I'm sorry. Go to the end of my casting couch. You've lost all your points. Off you go. Go on. Go on. I'm sorry. No. Don't encourage him. Just a minute. Hello? Who is it?
Geoffrey Archer, Dame Edna.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Geoffrey Archer! What do you want, Geoffrey?
I mean, you did have Ted Heath last week. I was rather hoping you'd let me come up this week.
Thank you. You're on my last series and you were terribly boring. You droned on about the plot of one of your shows or one of your books. Buzz off, Geoffrey, please. Honestly, you're overdoing it. Pushing. That's what it is. Pushing. You know, I will... No, don't. Boys, that shows how lucky you are to be in my penthouse. I don't let everyone in. People just think, men like Geoffrey think if they just fiddle with my little entry buzzer, they can slip in any time they like. Now, I'd like to have one of you, a lucky one, as a one-to-one interviewee one of these days, but you have to pass these little tests. We screen everyone, you see. So I'm going to ask you some critical questions appertaining to your theatrical careers. And it's hands up, I'm afraid. A show of hands. Have you ever been on stage with no clothes on? David Suchet.
Yes, I have done it once.
What happened?
On stage. Well, it was at Birmingham, in the Repertory Theatre in Birmingham, in a play called The Wedding Feast. And I had to face, not full frontal to the audience, I had to face into a mirror. And the first night came, and I looked into the mirror, full frontal, and I could see the audience, and they could see me, and they walked out. Terrible.
What an unsavoury story. And how very, very disappointing for all of your fans, David. What is the most exotic love scene you have ever played? Malcolm McDowell.
I played a very exotic love scene once in a terrible movie called Caligula. I played this love scene with a horse. I was actually in bed with a horse.
David in the nude, you with a horse. I saw that. It wasn't. It was equus. I saw that. It was equus.
No, this was
Yes, it was. You were in the bed, only you were under the bedclothes, and the horse's head was sticking out, and Marlon Brando came in and cut the horse's head off. I remember that.
That's it.
It might have been, was that? No, I think that was National Velvet now. However, have you ever been on stage in New York in Sherlock Holmes, wait for it, and had scenery fall on your head? Tim Pigott-Smith.
Yes, I have been in New York in Sherlock Holmes and had scenery fall on my head.
What a predictable story that was. You have to do better than this, boys. Who has hurt themselves on stage but carried on bravely? Anthony.
Well, it was a production of King Lear, which I did with Mike. Mike was playing King Lear and I was the fool.
Were you, Michael?
And I was alone on stage at one point and my Achilles tendon snapped.
Your what?
I heard the snap.
I struggled into the wings and said, Mike, I can't walk, because we had to go back on to do one of the storm scenes. And now it's difficult to tell this because I don't know how we relate these.
I said to
there
him
were some dirty words.
in the darkness of the wings, Dame
It takes
Edna.
two of you to tell this.
He was collapsed lying on the floor, and I said, "Get up, Tony, you little bleep, red face, bleep." Something like that.
And he did.
He did. No, he didn't. He crawled on and played the rest of the part lying down, didn't you?
I did.
What is a favourite part you would like to play? Michael?
Well, you know, Dame Edna, I've always liked... I think I'd like to play the lady who says... I can't remember her name now. In The Importance of Being Earnest.
Oh,
Bracknell.
Lady Bracknell.
A female role you'd like to play?
I think, yes, I think it's about
Your parents
time.
aware of this, are they, Mark? How tragic. I mean, I suppose Jonathan Miller would think it was a good idea.
Well, I've played so many great, big, tough parts. I think it's about time I played a lady.
It's a very small role, too, by the sounds of it.
Dame Edna.
I think so, unless she was having a bit of hormone trouble at the time. Jonathan would probably say, keep it in, wouldn't he? Now, who else here does impressions? Do any of you boys do impressions? David, what impression do you do?
Donald Sinden.
Oh, that's exciting. What about you, Tim?
Well, yes, I do Donald Sinden too.
You, Michael?
I do Donald Sinden.
What about you, Malcolm?
Donald Sinden, I do a very good one.
Yes, I do Donald Sinden.
All right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Sinden. Do it.
Oh, hello, my God.
My best friends. There we are. Thank you very, very much, darling. Thank you. You were so good. Don't call us. We'll call you. Oh, what's the matter with it? Must be out of order. Something the matter, Tim?
Oh, my goodness, it says it's only licensed to carry 3 persons.
Oh, good heavens, well, come out, for heaven's sake! Well, at least Charles Dance will never stop working now. After this tragedy break, a real actor, Jason Donovan! It's no use, Madge. No. I'm afraid they're a write-off, darling, but don't blame yourself, even though it is your fault. What a nuisance. I'm going to have to use the service lift now. But my next guest, Possums, passes every test. With flying colours, I might say. He has found a place in my home and a place in my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, the world's most famous artist, Jason Donovan! What is it, Jason?
Conditioner. I haven't... I can't seem to find some
You're not even ready, darling. In my dressing room, you go in, on the right there's a mirror. You push the mirror, it opens, it's a cupboard. You'll find glass shelves there. And on the top, you'll see a long rubber tube with a bulb on one end. Now, next to that is... Please, you're following me, Jason. Next to that is some herbal shampoo. It's herbal. In other words, it smells
But it was
strange.
Conditioner.
That's it. Now, please, quick.
OK,
I'll see you in a moment.
All right, yeah.
Please. Oh, Jason Donovan, now... Please. My next house guest is squeaky clean. She's feisty, she's foxy, and she's spunky. They call her Glenys Kinnock!
Thank you.
You look absolutely beautiful,
So do
too.
you. Wonderful.
The badge, Madge, please. The badge for Glenys. There we are, darling. Oh,
Thank
there we
you.
are. Just pop it there.
Thank you.
Little Glen. You, darling. I want you to feel free to stay here as long as you like, Glenys.
Thank you.
You know, you can teach me a lot, you lovely person. And you are a teacher. You do teach kiddies at school still, don't you?
Yes, I teach young children, little ones, 7, 8-year-olds.
What do you teach them, Glenys?
I teach reading and language skills.
Oh, they still teach reading in England, do they?
Oh, we do. Yes. Still
It's optional in Australia. My daughter Valma is a teacher in Australia. Well, she's not exactly a teacher. She's a counsellor. She's a sexual options counsellor for the under 7. She is... Yeah. There are so many more alternatives available to kiddies these days, aren't there? However, my darling, to get to more wholesome topics such as yourself. School. I remember when I was a schoolgirl. Doesn't seem too long ago.
No.
And yet, it was a happy time for me. I had a wonderful time. Can you remember your school days very vividly, Glen?
I can, yes, certain aspects of being at school.
Was it a happy time for you?
It certainly was. I wasn't always what you might call a good girl at school.
I'm glad to hear that,
I
Glenys.
talked too much, which is a habit I've really not lost. And I hated PE and games and gym.
So did I.
Did you?
I didn't like it. When you had to do
sensible.
somersaults on those grubby mats.
And
Did you
climb
like that?
ropes.
And yucky old ropes and jump over those leather horses. Oh, I
Very
couldn't bear it.
sadistic, very often.
I did,
think.
and our gym teacher was a nasty type of a woman who I suspect had tendencies, Glenys. I'm not going to say any more than that. My daughter Valma could have pointed her in the right direction.
Perhaps she did when she was under 7.
You come from Wales, and we have a lot of non-Welsh viewers. In fact, we've got millions of them, and for their benefit, where exactly is Wales?
In the west.
My darling, the Leek is the national veggie of Wales.
The emblem,
like the
yes.
Australian gladioli. We
That's
wear
right.
gladdies, or the menfolk do in their lapels.
Yeah.
And I love them in soup. I can eat leeks in almost anything, but I found it difficult getting the grit out of them.
Oh, well, I've got an easy solution to that.
How do you do that, Glenys?
Well, you take the bottom off, where the root grows. You
Yes.
cut that off. Then...
Glenys, a little bit slower.
OK.
Because the viewers are following this.
Right.
And they're all rushing off for a leek now, so that they can... oh, for heaven's sake! Don't make something of that. Don't twist my words.
Very
Now,
serious,
slowly.
very serious.
You cut...
You hold your leek, right. Then you cut off the root at the bottom, the white part.
I know,
You cut
that's
the root,
funny,
right.
like a shaving
Then
brush
you
at the
have the
bottom.
long... Yes, you have the long green part. You take the nasty ends off that. Then, the secret at cleaning out the beautiful Welsh soil that maybe is in your leek is you cut it down one way and then you cut it again so that you have a cross, OK? Then you fan it open.
Fan it open?
Fan it open and run it under a very fast tap, lots of water, cold water, run it under there and you'll find that all the soil will come away and you won't have any grit in your teeth at all and your soup will be beautiful.
Fascinating.
Isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, Glenys Kinnock's leek cleansing recipe. Well, can you remember the first thing you really said to Neil Kinnock?
Yes, I can. The first thing I said was, "Are you the man from the Socialist Society?"
Oh, how romantic.
Not very, no.
I remember I said to Norm, I'm sorry, were you talking to me? That's what I said. First words. Did you canvass at the hustings together?
We did, yes. We canvassed at university and many times since. I mean, one memory of canvassing, which wasn't a very pleasant one, was when we were students. And it was I think, a Sunday morning, which probably isn't a good idea to canvass. No. And we both...
People are in a bad temper on a Sunday morning.
Yes, or they just don't want to be disturbed for whatever reason. And we knocked on a door in Grangetown in Cardiff, and the woman presumed that we were Jehovah's Witnesses, and she, from the top window, threw a bucket full of cold water over both of us, which was yes, not pleasant.
You could have brought your fan-shaped leeks along, couldn't you? For a bit of a quick rinse. Oh, my delightful guest, if you've just tuned in, is Glenys Kinnock. It's Dame Edna Everage. And, that was a long time ago. You've been very close ever since, of course, Glenys. Mm-hmm. And...
23 years
yes,
we've been married.
Not bad going at all, my darling woman. I read about him in one of the magazines when I was in the hairdresser the other day. And, you know, these silly magazines, they describe Neil as a sex symbol. Well, that is an overused epithet, isn't it, Possum? But to you, is he a sex symbol? Glenys.
No.
Neither was Norm. Neither was Norm. Not by any stretch of the imagination, but there's nothing wrong with that. Because I don't like the expression sex symbol.
What does it mean?
It means nothing. Because a symbol is something instead of. It's like a sex symbol. For a woman would be the post office tower, I suppose, or in Norm's case, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. My next guest, however, is very frequently embarrassed by this epithet, and I hope he's had his hair shampooed by now. After this break, a sex symbol to millions, Jason Donovan! In the world with clean hair, Jason Donovan! Beautiful. Over here. This is Glenys Kinnock. Jason. Thank you, darling. Beautiful. The badge, Madge. The badge.
The badge.
Lovely. There we are, Jace.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Oh, goodness me. Let me look at you. The memories that come flooding back. We both come from the same town. The same hometown of Melbourne.
We certainly do.
Oh, but I knew you when you were a little bubba.
Yes.
I did. You see... I remember you had a little dog called Benji. I can remember
That's
Benji.
Right. Yes.
And you were always breaking your bike. Do you remember that?
Yes, I was. Yeah, we actually... Really?
You see, it's spooky. It's spooky.
It is spooky. It is spooky. We had the name of my dog, Benji, actually. We were talking about whether to call the dog, because he's got two black eyes, very black eyes, and he's a white dog. And a friend of mine came around and wanted to call him Sultana Face. But we ended up with Benji because I'd actually seen the film Benji before that, so that's what I decided to do, yeah. And bikes.
And the possums used to come into the garden. Remember those little possums you used to love?
That's right. How do you know all this?
It's beautiful. And you remember once when you were a little boy?
Yeah.
You saw there were two little dogs playing wheelbarrows in the back. Said to your dad, what are they doing? And And your father said, well, one of them is blind and the other one is pushing him to the hospital. You know that? It's spooky, isn't it, that
Well, funnily enough, I do remember it, actually. Yeah, because it's a true story. I'm serious, it's totally true. The dogs were out there, sort of, you know, it was that time of the year,
Yes.
or it was, you know...
A little stage they go through.
Yeah, there is a stage they go through. And we'd get one poodle and match it with another poodle, I suppose, and my parents had actually left. I think Dad was going out to... He was working in Cop Shop. Do you remember?
Oh, I remember that
Remember
serial.
Cop Shop, yeah.
Jason's father is a famous Australian actor and he was in this series.
That's correct.
Police series.
Yeah, and the dogs got stuck. And I was the only one left home. I didn't know what to do, so...
No, I should hope not,
So,
Jason.
yeah.
Separating animals, playing hospitals with each other. Well, look, I was and am a bit psychic. You know, I was called a witch, Glenys. But witch is a very old word meaning extremely clever and brilliant woman. And people used to bring their children to me, you know, wanting me to look into the future a bit. And this is how I met you. One day there was a little tap on my kitchen door and it was Jason's father, Terry, with this little bundle. And he said, can I have a reading? Mrs. Everage, as I was then. I said, I don't read teacups anymore. He said, well, I've got an old Pharax bowl with the cat running away with a spoon on it, you know, Humpty Dumpty. And I said, well, I can't read that. But I was into something very special then, something called napomancy. I said, I could read the future from a kiddie's nappy. I could. And luckily, by just releasing a safety pin, your future was unfurled before me. And no, please. No, I didn't study it carefully, but I went through the motions and I was looking. And do you know what I saw, Jason?
What did you see?
I saw your chart success. I did.
Just there.
I saw a lot of number ones and I saw even... No.
Are you ready for this?
You know, I saw the occasional number 2. I did. Only the very occasional. But you remember that was the day you poked your finger in my faff? You did. That was my sewing machine. It's a faff is a sewing machine. A very upmarket foreign one. And you accidentally stitched your fingers together.
Did I?
And you fell asleep for 18 years.
I did.
And you woke up a star. You did. No, I invented that little bit, but are you having fun,
Well,
Jason? Are
yeah.
you having lots of fun?
No, I am, actually. I mean, I suppose, you know, despite the sort of, the pace of it all, I guess, you know, we're sort of travelling quite a lot and you're away from your sort of family and friends.
You are. I think that's very hard.
It's hard, but I enjoy what I do and I get a lot of satisfaction out of it. So, and also travelling for me, I guess, at sort of 21 is, I've sort of seen quite a few European countries and American countries. I guess I'm pretty lucky. So.
You're very, very lucky and you give so much pleasure to so many people.
Thank you.
It's a privilege to be given a gift like this, I think. That's how I look at my wonderful gift. You know, can you remember your dad's wedding at all?
I can remember my father's wedding.
I mean, no, please.
Were you at the wedding? I didn't see you at the wedding.
No, I wasn't at that occasion.
No, well, I do remember the wedding, actually. There was a particular instance. I was actually the best man.
The best man at your father's
Best man
wedding?
at my father's
How
wedding.
old then, Jake?
I was 13.
13?
Yes. And my parents had got divorced, so my father got remarried, of course. And I was the best man, and I had a ring. And I kept it in my pocket, and I was pretty nervous because of Dad's wedding and whatever. And I had to place the ring on the book with the priest in front of me, and there was all the crowd sort of gathered around. We actually had it in the backyard of our house.
Oh.
We did. I mean, it's...
Oh, yes.
It's
You're
not...
always an unconventional family.
Different. And so I placed the ring on the book. I put it at the top of the book, you know, when Dad sort of nudged me and said, now, you know, I sort of put it on top and it slid down the book, right down and just dribbled into the crowd. He's boring. So I had to retreat from the crowd, which was pretty embarrassing.
But for a boy of that age, very embarrassing.
It was pretty embarrassing.
But you found it in the end.
Yes, I did.
Well, you followed in your father's footsteps, didn't you, Jason?
Certainly.
He was an actor, and you were an actor. Did he ever wish you would be something else? Did he ever hope that you might follow another profession?
Well, I think like most actors, I mean, obviously, you've been around a lot of actors throughout your life.
Just tonight.
Just tonight, yeah.
They're dead now. No. Multiple fracture, I would say.
They got out, did they, or not?
I shouldn't laugh.
Well, I suppose, I mean, most actors sort of say, don't get into this job because it's terribly insecure and you're never really assured of where you sort of... next bit of money's coming from, or whether you're going to work or whether you're not going to work. And I guess Dad really wanted me to be a plumber or a carpenter. Or,
oh, there's still time for that,
There's still time.
Little Kylie, of course, I didn't know when she was a bubba.
Didn't you?
But I adore her. Funnily enough, when I was young, Jason, I was the image of Kylie.
Really?
I was. Which gives you a rough idea what she's going to look like. You work so well together, and yet there were no bedroom scenes at all, were there, in Neighbours?
Well, there sort of was, and they were very censored.
I hope so.
Yeah, they were sort of...
I approve of that.
Yeah.
I approve that.
You approve of that?
I do.
I mean, actually, I think the last scene that when Kylie left Neighbours, which would have been nearly 2 years ago, in terms of production, not actually on air in Britain, her last scene was in the bedroom.
Wasn't too raunchy, though.
No, we kept it very clean. I mean, there's a certain element or area you can't go beyond with television in that area.
Otherwise, what is the door on the bedroom for?
Exactly.
I agree, and I think sometimes these things are a little bit better left to the imagination.
Sure.
I always thought I'm going to because I feel this lovely boy and this marvellous woman, Glenys, and I feel I could talk to you about anything. And I probably will. But that when I first saw Neighbours, I thought that it was a documentary. I thought that it was a hidden camera in an Australian home. And I thought that your character was just a Jason lookalike. I thought
Scott
was a lookalike.
Yeah.
And then I found it was actors. It was uncanny.
Yeah, I think it's a very natural sort of show. I mean, I think it depicts sort of Australian life. That's what we wanted. That's what I mean.
Think it does.
That's what we wanted to do, and that's what was so important. I think to me was not to go and play someone totally removed from myself.
Its popularity thrills me, and your success in it. What about the Australian reaction to your success? How's that been, Jason?
I think, I mean, obviously now with Australia, obviously I've left Neighbours. The music doesn't go down so well in Australia simply because radio doesn't give it the support that it could.
And do they say occasionally rather catty things
well,
about Jason Donovan?
there's a thing called the tall poppy syndrome.
You mean if you grow a little bit too tall, they snip you off a little bit?
Yeah, they tend to, but
I have encountered that.
Have you?
Joan Sutherland has had it. All of us have gone through that experience. And, you know, I tell you what I do. A little bit of advice, Jason. When I go back to Australia, I underplay my success. I just wear small rings and low shoes, you know, frocks that aren't too gorgeous. And I call myself Mrs. Everage. I don't overdo the titles and things. And I have special copies of English newspapers printed giving me bad reviews. They love that. They do. So just bear that in mind, Jason.
Next time I go back, I'll remember that one.
You're a big hit amongst all your young fans, Jason. Little bubba boppers, I call it. How do you explain that? These very young people who adore you.
I don't know.
It's inexplicable, isn't it?
It's unexplainable.
And yet it's complimentary and very, very nice.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic. I mean, I don't think it sort of matters what
Neither
age
do
of
I.
fans.
It doesn't matter. And I attract a wider cross-section of fans.
You certainly do.
Young people, old people, middle-aged people. Now you're a megastar. Are you going to invest in property at all?
Well, I think it's best to put your money into solid things.
It is.
It
is. Look at this. I've invested in this. I mean, I have a home in Mustique, Malibu and Melbourne. But this is beautiful, isn't it?
That's fabulous.
Are you thinking of buying perhaps
yeah,
a lovely home
I would
in
love
England?
to sort of buy... Well, I mean, possibly if there's a...
This is not for sale,
No, no, no,
Jason.
but I'm thinking more in the same unit. Maybe we could...
build something upstairs?
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
I'm sorry, darling. I should say this, though. I've just bought a little slummy street in London. I bought quite a few houses in it. It's called Downing Street, Glenys. They're all pretty semi-detached. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, as a matter of fact. One of these days, I could be a neighbour of yours, Glenys, if you play your cards right. Okay. I feel a song coming on. This is familiar, isn't it? Neighbours, you and I could soon be neighbours. It's a rather smooth feeling, but it's got a strange appeal. You could borrow half a cup of sugar, and then on Sunday pop in for a meal with Neil. Glenys, I'll ask Margaret and Dennis, and to make the party bubble, Edward Heath and Tony Benn.
Edna, you're another Mrs. March.